Got the Colt 45 and 2 Ziggy Zags, and baby, that's all Spencer Boy needs. What's up, my dudes? Ken Roczen, believe the hype, bro. If you didn't realize, the title of this video is a complete joke, okay? Like Mike Alessi, believe the hype, you know what I'm saying? Okay, so listen. There's two types of people in this world. They're the people that are being realistic about Roczen going to this H.E.P Suzuki. And then there's the other people that they have no limit in their mind about what Ken Roczen can do on the bike. They think he's going to go out there and win 4+ main events in 2023. They thought he was going to go out there and win Anaheim 1. They think he's going to go out there and win the Supercross championship in 2023 over people like Jason Anderson, Cooper Webb, Chase Sexton. Obviously, even the most hype boy Roczen boys still have a little bit of common sense. They still realize that, Eli Tomac is probably the favorite here. You know what I mean? Let me just say this. I don't have anything against Ken Roczen. I like Ken Roczen. I ain't got nothing against the guy. And it's not like I'm thinking Roczen is going to do bad. I still think he's going to be up in the mix, like top fives, pretty much every single round. He'll be getting some thirds, some seconds. I still think Roczen is going to do okay. But the people that I'm specifically talking to and talking about in this video are the ones that think that Roczen is going to magically, fart out some fairy dust out of his ass, you know what I mean? And he's going to be better than he ever has before on this H.E.P Suzuki. It's like they totally disregard all of his injuries, disregard everything that he's done for like the past 3 or 4 years. Oh man, Roczen's going to be like this whole different rider now, and he's going to go out there and really compete with Tomac on a nightly basis, or he's going to beat Chase Sexton like a lot. I just, that to me, you're shooting for the stars now. You know what I mean? When you take it that far with Roczen at this point, you're shooting for the stars. Like, I just don't think you're even really thinking about it. You're letting all the media hype and, Roczen going to a Suzuki. I think a lot of it, on top of all that, is people just want to see Suzuki succeed again. It's not even so much about Roczen, it's like, and I think Roczen banked on all that, he bought into all that, you know what I mean? I think that made a big, decision in him selecting Suzuki, because he knew that it would put his name right back in the mix. It's building up this totally unrealistic hype level. Again, like I'm saying, if you're one of those kind of people that think Roczen's going to go out there and do about what he did like the last couple years, then that's totally understandable. I ain't got no problem with that. But it's the people that think he's going to go out there and be just like better than he's ever been. That is just ridiculous. That is not going to happen. I'm just telling you right now. The tea sipper is telling you right now it's not going to happen. I'm not joking around when I talk about this Ken Roczen hype train. A lot of people think I'm like making this up or something. No, I'm not. The industry has boosted him up. They want to see Suzuki succeed again, and I want to see Suzuki succeed again. It's not like me being realistic about Roczen means that I hate Suzuki or I hate Ken Roczen. It doesn't mean any of that. I'm just being realistic about the situation, and I'm not jumping on hype train bandwagons. You know what I'm saying? And when I notice a certain hype train getting boosted to some next level, and I'm seeing a lot of people jump on board, and I see that train is not going to go where you think it is, that's when I have to come out here and slap you back into reality. Okay? That's what the Spency boy does. I tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. I feel like a lot of the industry and some of these different people are telling you what you want to hear about Ken Roczen and Suzuki. They're not really telling you what you need to hear. Okay? Yeah, we all want to see Roczen succeed. We all want to see Suzuki succeed. Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's just like a generic thing for motocross and supercross fans. Like, Roczen, went through all those bad injuries, had a lot of good rides after it, but he's kind of been on the downhill slope for the past couple years and just can't really get it figured out. So, but what I want to point out in this video is a lot of you boys are actually not keeping the same energy that you had for Ken Roczen before Anaheim won. I did a poll before the Supercross season ever even started, okay? I said, who is winning the 2023 Supercross Championship? Obviously, the majority of people, 51%, picked Tomac, but then it went right underneath that to Ken Roczen at 22%. Then it went underneath that to Jason Anderson and then to Cooper Webb, okay? Jason Anderson at 12% and Cooper Webb at 5%. So with just about all these different polls that I have done before Anaheim won, it's like half of the people will pick Tomac, and then Roczen will take up like 1/4 of the poll, and then people like Anderson, Webb, or Sexton will be even lower than Roczen in the polls. That is just absurd to me, but it has changed, okay? Some people have changed their ways because I just recently made another poll that was after Anaheim won, and I said, now who is winning the 2023 Supercross Championship, okay? Now you have 70% selecting Eli Tomac, so even more than half of people are selecting Tomac now, and now Ken Roczen is basically right there in line, the same percentage as Cooper Webb and Sexton. So you can see how big of a difference that is from the way people were hyped up about Roczen before Anaheim won and how they've basically been slapped back into reality after Anaheim won. And again, Ken Roczen getting 5th on a Suzuki, yeah, that's cool, that's good, I'm not saying that's bad, but it's not anywhere near where a lot of these, Roczen hype boys were thinking he was going to be before the season started. Right? Because Roczen got a 3rd place start. He got a really good start. He didn't have any big crashes, and he still fell back to 5th place at Anaheim 1. Everybody else around Roczen that got that good of a start, they either finished better than Roczen in the main event, or they crashed completely off the bike and finished behind Roczen. But Roczen was really the only one that got that good of a start. He got a 3rd place start, didn't have any major, crashes, and still fell back to 5th place. So when you talk about how good of a start they got without crashing off the bike but still getting 5th, Roczen was probably the least impressive out of all of your different guys like Tomac, Sexton, Webb. Anderson crashed trying to pass Roczen, I think it was, which pushed him back. But, and then obviously Malcolm Stewart, he crashed out. Barsha crashed out. But somehow Roczen was right up there in the mix at the very start of the race. He didn't crash off of the bike, but he still got 5th. I just feel like at this point, and Ken Roczen's talking about Kickstart Kenny and all these funny little memes and shit, and they're making memes about Roczen's on a 2007 bike, and he gets 5th place at Anaheim 1. It's like, bro, yeah, we all still believe that Roczen can get a 5th place. You know what I mean? We all still believe that. But it's the reality check comes into play when you make that difference between Roczen can still get a top 5, he could still get a podium, he could even still get a win, one win in 2023. There's a big difference in that right there, and then the group of people that think that Roczen's going to go out there and win 4+ main events and win the championship in 2023. There's a big gap between those two different things. You see what I'm saying? That's the difference right there in reality and, overhyped honeymoon stage for Roczen on the Suzuki again. But it's the fact that he went to Suzuki that has had pretty much nobody for since James Stewart, basically. It's I feel like it has elevated everybody's what they think Roczen is going to do on the bike. It's basically the hype level has pushed all that right up out of the roof to the point to where it's not even realistic anymore. H.E.P. Suzuki has never won a main event in the 450 class. And yeah, Roczen can definitely be the first one to do that, but he's not going to go win 4+ of them in 2023. Do you see my point? Do you see the difference I'm making right there? Do you see the line that I'm drawing in the sand? It's Roczen can go out there and have a second, a third, a fourth, a fifth. That's the majority of what his finishes are going to be this season. He can even go out there and get a win. But he ain't going to go win 4+. He's not going to win the championship.